Salute, salute, salute. Listen to this.
Off the table, I just want to know what benefit would I get for being a stepfather? Would a man be wrong for asking a woman that?
I think it's a loaded question because why are you asking me that? I feel like as a man, you should know if you're coming into a relationship where there's children involved, I don't think that's an appropriate question to ask in terms of what's the benefit that I get for being a stepfather to your children. Like, that doesn't even sound right to me.
No?
Because I'm going to look at you like you're crazy.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you know that I have children, you should already start programming your mind to think, okay, I'm going to be around her children.
Okay.
My question is, why should I want you around? What benefits do we get from having you around?
What?
Poor.
I want y'all to notice. She didn't answer the question. She did not answer the question. You know why? Because there is no benefit. That's why. There is no benefit. There is none. That's why she can't answer it. Any of you dudes out there being a stepfather, it's a bad deal. You're losing. And you should be ashamed of yourself.
Remember that short bus kid I told you about?
You should be ashamed of yourself. She can't answer the question because there is no benefit to being a stepfather. Not one. She says, what's the benefit? I tell you, the benefit is you get his resources. Not just his resources, you get his time, you get his energy, you get guidance, you get discipline, you get a man. What does he get? To take care of your kids? How is that a benefit for him? He's losing. It's a bad deal. It's a bad deal.
So that's what I would need to know. Like, what are my children going to see in you? What are my children going to learn from you?
They're going to see something that you didn't provide. A dad. But a stepdad. Not the real dad. A stepdad. Somebody they get to call Duke. Hey, Duke, the bills are due. Hey, Duke, drive me to school. Hey, Duke, go make me an egg sandwich. Hey, Duke, pay my phone bill. Hey, Duke, give me some money. His name is Duke. They get a father figure, not their father, but they still get a father figure. When you're not home and you're at work or you just out, he's there, or if he's out and you there, it's a 2-parent household. That's what they get. They get a chance at success. That's what they get. When you bring in a productive man into that household, they get a chance at success. What does he get a chance at? He gets a chance to lose his resources. He gets a chance that if this doesn't work out, if this relationship doesn't work out, and it will not work out, you know what's going to happen? He gets a chance at being taken to court for child support for children that's not his, because he was already paying for them when he was with you. That's where the court system is at right now. He gets to lose.
Okay. Those are the questions. So if you're saying what benefit do you have from being a stepfather to my children, I'm going to ask you, why are you even asking that question?
So you're not going to answer because she can't. So you're going to answer a question with a question. which is deflection, which is you're done out here. Finito. Finished.
Okay. I'm not saying that it's off the table.
I want y'all to understand something, man. I want you to understand something. They're done. They need your help. That's what they need. They need your help. The gender war, there's no gender war. The people be throwing the gender war. They lost as soon as they decided to get from under our leadership. But they really wasn't under our leadership. It was just an illusion. But even that, for that time, they were under the protection, under the provision, under black men. And they decided they didn't want to be under them no more. They decided, you know what? They're going to branch out and they're going to get jobs. They're going to get careers that paid them nothing. I told y'all in the 90s, right? In the 90s, they were getting corporate positions, right? Not just corporate jobs. They were getting corporate positions, right? You know what they were getting paid to be CEOs and COs? You know what they were getting paid after putting themselves in debt? You know what they were getting paid? Brad, in the same position, was getting paid probably around 70 to 80. We talking about the early 90s, 70 to 80. You know what they were getting paid? $35,000. CEOs and COs, $35,000. In the 90s. They only cared about proximity, close proximity to Brad, and titles. That's what kept them poor. That's all they were worth. Titles. Oh, you're a CEO. You're a CEO of this company. You're a chief officer. You're a chief executive officer of this company. Okay, how much you make? $35,000. Well, Brad is making $75,000, $80,000, doing the same thing. But they were looking down at plumbers around that time. We talking about the 90s now, making 50 to 60 grand a year. They're making more now, but around that, we talking about the night. That was good money in the 90s. You seen those movies. Looking down at the black men in the mail room while they up there, up on the top floor with them and Brad. You saw Mo Money. You saw Boomerang. You saw those movies where they were depicting black men that were in the mailroom, and you had black women that were in corporate off, and they were just snooty and just uptight towards them. That was the go-to. That was the go-to move back then. That was the go-to image. They were broke. Do you hear me? They were broke. Broke. As CEOs. I did the research on this. If y'all remember on my main channel, I did the research on this. I did stories about this. They were in those positions getting paid peanuts. Now look at them. They need your help. But they're not going to say they need your help. They're going to pretend like you helping them right, is helping you. That's why they saying, yeah, what can what was she said? What you need to look at it, what can you do for them instead of what they can do for you? Why? He can go his way. You can still struggle with your children. You can still struggle alone by yourself with your children. He don't need to be a part of that. See, Keisha has the uncanny ability to turn one bum into two bums, and that's what's going to happen when you start dealing with them. I want y'all to listen to this again.
I just want to know, what benefit would I get for being a stepfather? Would a man be wrong for asking a woman that?
I think it's a loaded question because why are you asking me that?
Loaded.
I feel like as a man, you should know what if you're coming into a relationship where there's children involved, I don't think that's an appropriate question to ask in terms of what's the benefit that I get for being a stepfather to your children. Like, that doesn't even sound right to me.
No?
Because I'm going to look at you like you're crazy.
Okay.
Because I feel like if you know that I have children, you should already start programming your mind to think, okay, I'm going to be around her children.
Okay.
My question is, why should I want you around? What benefits do we get from having you around? So that's what I would need to know. Like, what are my children going to see in you? What are my children going to learn from you? Okay. Those are the questions. So if you're saying, what benefit do you have from being a stepfather to my children, I'm going to ask you, why are you even asking that question?
Okay. I'm not saying that it's off the table.
What do you mean, okay, Duke? And here's the problem with this is that instead of bombing on him, because that's what she's doing, she's bombing on him with her delusions, right? But she's actually balking on him, and instead of giving him pushback, you give them a platform to talk. You give you on these panels talking with them, and this is what you do. This is what they do, looking for validation. They want to be recognized by Keisha. They want their support. They want, and this is the problem with dudes that be on these panels with them. You can tell they still looking for validation and acceptance from Keisha. Keisha cares nothing about you or what you got going on. Only thing she cares about is what you're going to pay for. That's it. You're just a bag to them. You're just a dollar sign. That's it. Nothing else, nothing more. And when y'all realize that, the more that you realize that, the more you understand that you need to just step away and don't help. Don't look for don't be around them, and just shut it down. Hey, listen, I don't need you. You need me. And therefore, you the one that's struggling. You're the one out here that need help. And when you realize that, right, maybe it'll help you out, maybe it don't, but you living your delusion is only for you. That's only for you. That's only for you to save face because you know you're done out here. I'm not here to help you. I'm not here to provide for you. I'm not here to help you or your children. Why don't you go to your baby's fathers? Why don't you go to them and tell them that? You created the children with them. Go to them and tell them that. Because as far as a man that didn't create these children, they're not his responsibility. Therefore, he shouldn't have to take care of them. And therefore, you shouldn't be there in the first place anyway, black man. Peace.
You're done.